The reason most men are alone and unhappy is because they're negative. Most men are insanely negative. And I know you're not that type of person, but every once in a while you can dip into negativity. You must commit to positivity. This video is a reminder, as well as an introduction of certain perhaps new concepts for you, that will serve as a fundamental base for all happiness and success in life. And I know you're probably doing well in certain areas in your life already, 100%. But trust me, what I've seen over the last 6.5 years, coaching men from 45 countries, helping them find the right girlfriend, wife, going to personal development seminars for 15 years, learning from some of the best legends in the field of psychology and personal development and relationships and mindset. The base, the absolute and utter base recommitment you have to make on a daily basis is positivity, my friend. If you don't have rituals that make you positive, because it's not our default state, I'll get to that in a second, you will develop a victim's complex. You will start making excuses. You'll form the belief that the outcome you want, for example, the one of a relationship, isn't possible, isn't worth it, or you can't get it. Because if you want to be able to achieve an outcome, you have to believe that it's out there, you can get it, and that it's worth it, okay? But if you don't commit, it sounds so stupid, so plain, so trite, yet how rare is what I'm talking about. You must commit and recommit to positivity on a daily basis. I swear to God, if you understand this and master this, all else will come your way. You know already that if you're in a positive state, if you're happy, you walk through life, you make connections with men and women, and opportunities come your way, and your subjective experience of this world is an entirely different one than if you're negative. Because what happens if you don't commit to positivity on a daily basis, you will end up in a deep, dark spiral of negativity, and you get into bad habits, all kinds of bad habits that you can imagine, and you'll get around the wrong people, and then you won't get the outcomes that you want, and then it spirals you down, and everybody's life is either a warning or an example. You'll have to choose what yours is, but you first have to understand how your brain works. Your brain is an ancient device, 300,000 years old, where we used to live in tribes of 100, 200 people, and there were certain threats, tigers, other tribes that wanted to end us. And we are all descendants of ancestors who were scared and negative and prone to notice the negative, because our brain is bombarded with a gazillion stimuli every single day. So it has to group things into opportunities and threats. Now, what is the brain by default going to notice first? Opportunities, things that are great for you, or threats? Well, an opportunity taken to its extreme can only be so good. There's only so much joy you can experience. But a threat taken to its extreme means your end, your death, you're done. Because if you don't pay attention to the tiger, you will end. If you approach a woman and she happens to be one of the ladies of the alpha male tribal leader, stupid little term, called back in the day, well, then you might get ended in the middle of the night with a stone being thrown into your temple. So you have to understand that your brain, left to its own devices, will always focus on what's wrong first. It's the brain's default, because the brain's job is to make you survive. It is not to make you happy. Once you understand that, then you can realize, hey, my brain is not working against me. It is actually working for me. It's doing its job brilliantly. But you're not doing your job. You have to assume the responsibility of making you happy. David, aren't you supposed to be talking about dating and relationships? This ties directly into dating and relationships, my friend. First of all, it ties into happiness. But the more happy you are, the more attractive you are. If you think you can seriously and logically grind it out on a first date by telling her about your LinkedIn CV or starting to list things, or just because you're a good guy on paper, you are screwed. If that was all it took, then you'd already be in a happy relationship. If you don't recommit to happiness on a day-to-day basis, and I'll give you some very practical tools in a couple of minutes here, then you won't engage in the activities necessary to get at least one quality date every single week to be able to choose the right woman from. Because what happens? You go on a couple of dates, and then they're not really what you want, and then disappointment strikes, and you haven't learned to discipline your disappointment. and then you stop. I mean, theoretically, if you just took enough action, the results are guaranteed. Massive action is the cure-all. If you ever have a difficult time in your life, I'm telling you, massive action is the cure-all. It really is. But you're not going to be able to get yourself to do that if you don't manage your state, if you don't commit to positivity on a daily basis. It sounds so trite, so simplistic. But the people who are the happiest, they have habits for positivity. It doesn't just happen to them. Because again, your brain's job is to make you survive, it's not to make you happy. So one, it requires a decision that you will live in a positive state because one, it'll make you easier to be successful. It'll make it easier for you to be successful in your dating and your relationship life, to attract and keep the right woman. But also it'll save your quality male friends. Think of the conflicts you've had in your life. Haven't you had some conflicts that came purely as a result of you being in a bad mood because you weren't positive? And you've also had it where you actually saved relationships and maybe business deals and certain risky situations, maybe with a crucial conversation, because why? You were in a positive state in that moment, and you interpreted what John said in a positive way, and you had compassion because you were feeling strong and positive instead of weak and easily offended. So this principle is actually going to cost you millions and millions and millions of dollars, and happiness and time and everything. It is so fundamental. So what can you do to recommit to positivity on a day-to-day basis? Well, one of the first things you can do is invest 4 minutes in the morning, 3 to 5 minutes is all it takes, for a gratitude meditation. If you have a gratitude meditation practice that primes your nervous system, it actually changes your brain. Jack Kornfield, he's probably the single best mindfulness or meditation teacher out there, in my opinion. He founded the Spirit Rock Meditation Center. I actually meditated there with him and many other people. If you go to YouTube and type Jack Kornfield guided meditation, he's the best. I believe he has a PhD or at least a master's degree in psychology. He's in his 70s now. There's a lot of tech billionaires who are his clients. And there's actually a talk on YouTube where Sam Altman is on stage with Jack Kornfield talking about the importance of meditation, right? Dahlia talks about the importance of meditation. And what Jack always said was that there were studies that came out the last couple of years that clearly show that it takes around 11 or 12 hours of meditation, going from 0 to 11 to 12 hours of meditation practice, to see changes in your brain. It changes the structures of your brain for the better. Your mood gets better. Stress goes down. And what is that? That's 20 minutes a day for a month. If Ray Dalio, one of the greatest investors, multi-billionaire, says that a lot of the success he has comes down to meditation, who are you and I to not meditate or have some sort of a meditation practice on a daily basis? Now, there's Vipassana meditation, mindfulness meditation, but even if you don't want to invest 20 minutes a day, at the very least, have a gratitude meditation practice. By focusing on who loves you and what you have, let's do this experiment right now. If you're not driving, close your eyes. And if you are driving, then just do this with your eyes open. Ask yourself this question right now. Who loves me? Who really unconditionally loves me in my life? And even if it's just one person, comes to mind, your father, your mother, your uncle, your children, anybody who loves you unconditionally. And see that person smiling. And now ask yourself, who has taken care of you? Who is a benefactor in your life? Somebody who protected you and loved you and took care of you. Not because he or she wanted anything. They had zero incentive other than that they really, really cared about you. And now think of a moment in your life that you could feel deep feelings of gratitude for. It could be any moment at all, from your childhood to as an adult. Any moment at all. And again, don't just think it. See it. Feel it. Be there. What did you hear? What did you smell? What did people say? Who did you see it? And step into it. And allow the joy and the gratitude and whatever positive emotions may come up. And now think of another moment from your life that you could feel deep feelings of gratitude for. Could be any random moment. Could be something big, something small. And again, don't just think it. Step into it, see it, feel it, be there. How does that feel? isn't it interesting? You may want to open your eyes again. Isn't it interesting how we can change our experience very quickly? If you do this on a daily basis, it becomes your default mode. Because if you're an achiever, if you're somebody who takes action, then you can constantly compare yourself to the next level. This needs to be achieved. And that's good to an extent because it drives you into action, absolutely. At the same time, how are you going to be able to sustain happiness if you only focus on what's missing as opposed to what you have? That is one of the things you can do. Now, I'll give you another very important hack that will allow you to focus on positivity on a daily basis. Time with quality male friends. If you could spend 5 hours a day, I know it's too much, I know you can't, it's not practical, but if you could theoretically spend a couple hours every single day with quality male friends, your happiness would quadruple. Can you, at the very minimum, make sure you see your quality male friends several days a week? Locally, you need that. I've worked with guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 20s, from all around the world. And be that in the US or London or wherever you happen to be, Germany, most men don't have enough quality male friends they hang out with on a weekly basis. And the cool thing is, through the coaching program, for example, we're able to simulate that. We have live coaching calls, and it's amazing. It's a really awesome brotherhood of people supporting each other. And these are some high performers. There's a really awesome network. Not only network for the sake of networking, these are really kind, good guys. Yeah, they're crushing in their careers and their businesses, but they're also very kind. And that's one step, and it's great. But I want you to have that locally as well. You need to make quality male friends. It's very simple. You talk to 10 guys in the gym. One of them is going to become your new best friend. Again, if you actually commit to positivity, it'll be easier to meet people. And then when you meet people, you'll become more positive. That doesn't mean that every moment in life is going to be pure bliss. No, but you'll be so much happier. You have to understand that if you're around quality male friends, problems seem smaller. You have more oxytocin, more dopamine, more testosterone. You know that. If you're around some of your best friends, do you give up about any of your problems? No, they seem absolutely solvable, right? Is there any problem that you can't solve when you're around your quality male friends? You don't. But when you're alone, that's when you have all kinds of crazy thoughts. David, I haven't been feeling it. If any of my clients comes to me and goes, David, I really haven't been feeling it in the last week or two. How many hours did you spend with quality male friends? 1 or 2. Well, guess what? Obviously, you need to exercise 5, 6, 7 times a week. Of course, make sure your nutrition is on point. Getting sunlight makes you more positive, okay? Changing your physiology, very important. Make sure you get sunlight into your eyes. Andrew Huberman talks about this. This changes your brain chemistry, okay? This will make you neurologically more positive. And by the way, in Ireland, for example, even if it's overcast, if you go for a walk, and you don't wear sunglasses, you still get tens of thousands of lux that hit your retina that change your brain chemistry, okay? If you can get absolutely bright and super strong sun to your body for 20, 30 minutes a day, that's even better because then that produces testosterone as well. But at the very minimum, you must be outside for a minimum an hour a day. And go for a walk and allow the sunlight to hit your retina. Don't stare into the sun, please, because that can obviously hurt you. But you need to make sure that you're outside for at least an hour a day. Time in nature makes you more positive. If you want true happiness, take some of your male best friends. Here's what you do. You go out into nature, do an ice bath, spend some time out, get some sun. Then you go to the gym together, and then you go approach women. I'm telling you, this will be peak male happiness for you. I swear to God. And by the way, even when you're in a relationship, you still need to spend time with quality male friends. A lot of men come, all men obviously come to me because they want to find a relationship. Fair enough. But along the way, they get so much wisdom that I've acquired that's not mine. Some of it I've developed, some of it I've learned from 15 years of being in personal development and learning, as I said, from some absolute geniuses. One of the best psychologists in Germany. I'm not a psychologist or a psychotherapist, but I learned a lot from him. They get that, and they also get more quality male friends. Because yes, you want a relationship with a woman, and that is absolutely amazing. It'll make you happy beyond what you can imagine. To wake up to love, to go to sleep to love, amazing intimacy, building a family, sharing your life with a woman who truly loves and appreciates you. It is so good, you don't even know. And at the same time, you'll still have to spend time with quality male friends because otherwise you won't be well balanced. You need both. There's a gazillion more tools, but I hope this is a good starting point for you to make a decision to remember that positivity matters and to recommit to positivity on a daily basis. And if you'd like me to help you personally find the right girlfriend or wife, apply for a free initial consultation. Speak soon.